You may be seated. My name is Dr. Michael Bacigalupi. I'm the Dean of the Kentucky College of Optometry, and I want to welcome everyone here and everyone watching online around the country to the Class of 2022's White Coat Ceremony. As you can tell, this year the White Coat Ceremony is being conducted in a little bit different format. Instead of having all of our family and friends here with us on campus, this year they're joining us live online on UPIKE TV or also on Facebook Live. As you can imagine, the decision to conduct the White Coat Ceremony in this manner was a difficult one, but one that was needed to ensure the health of everyone within the UPIKE family, that they could remain safe. So to the Class of 2022, welcome. We know this event should have taken place in April of 2020, but at that time, gatherings like this were impossible. But we don't want you to think our delay in hosting this event diminishes our pride in all that you've accomplished. The Class of 2022 is very special. They always be special to me for two very important reasons. First, we started UPIKE at the same time. On a very hot summer day in July of 2018, we all arrived on the UPIKE campus to begin a journey at UPIKE. I was able to, that day, to welcome them to the orientation program and let them get to know me just a little bit. Over the past 2+ years, we've gotten to know each other so much better. This is a hardworking, talented, and caring group of young students who I know will become caring doctors of optometry in less than 2 years. Which leads me to my second point. This summer, we were again faced with a very difficult decision as to whether or not to bring students back to campus to continue their laboratory and clinical training. You see, it's impossible to train healthcare providers online. Doctors have to observe, touch, feel, and interact with their patients to truly diagnose and care for them. You can't do that online. So again, there was this tough decision that required much study and consideration. But the one factor that people didn't know that we had in our favor was the class that would be coming back was the Class of 2022. We entrusted this class to do the right thing every day, to stay safe and to keep their classmates safe, and they did. We're incredibly proud of them for protecting themselves and each other during this pandemic. Their efforts have allowed them to stay on track with their education and progressing towards our common goal of training them to be outstanding optometrists in May of 2022. So thank you. Thank you for being careful. Thank you for taking care of each other. Thank you for being a key part of the UPIKE team. Honestly, the work that you did this summer has formed a blueprint which we can follow for the subsequent semesters. We are proud to honor you today with the White Coat Ceremony and as we mark the start of your clinical education. So without further delay, I'd like to invite our UPIKE chaplain, Rob Music, to come forward and offer our invocation.
Congratulations. Let's take a moment and pray. Compassionate and merciful one, today we pause and thank you for the journey of these healers and for all the ways that they have worked tirelessly for the honor to wear the white coat. Through their work and your grace, they have arrived in this special and landmark moment. You bestow callings on all of us, and we thank you for the sacred calling of leadership and healing that you have gifted them with. May they be ever mindful of the privilege and of the call to heal. Today, as they embark on the next stage of the ride, may you give them deeper empathy and hearts that break for the things that break your heart, especially as they are confronted with people who will be very different and very broken. May you grant them wisdom to know how to best serve and to support their patients and co-laborers while pouring out on them a new level of patience, mercy, and grace as they continue to learn and simultaneously also being looked upon as the one with some answers. In the midst of these next days and months, may you gift them with humility to navigate times of uncertainty and bestow on them ears of attentive listeners and minds of curious practitioners. As 2020 has been a time of complex decisions, partisan divides, and painful national introspection, may the ashes of old systems lead to creative new ways of being servant leaders who impact their communities and institutions with hope, dedication, and the unwavering commitment to wholeness. As the white coat goes on, the pressures can mount and at times feel stifling. May you give them a new sense of togetherness and deeper relationships as they serve many who feel disenfranchised and alone. And now as we pause, reflect, and celebrate, we say thank you for the lives, the stories, and the many families that are symbolically covered by these individual white coats. Bless these students and our time with your presence, for we ask this in Christ's name. Amen.
Good afternoon. My name is Burton Webb, and I'm the president of the University of Pikeville. On behalf of the university and the Board of Trustees, I'd like to welcome everyone here today. Certainly the students who are seated here before me, welcome and congratulations on making it this far. That's a very important accomplishment. One of the things that I really like about the white coat ceremony in the profession of optometry, as it differs from that of medicine, is that you get your white coats midway through. I think that's important and significant for a variety of reasons. I remember getting my white coat at the very beginning of my own clinical training. I was working at Riley Hospital for Children, and there was absolutely no ceremony. My advisor came in with a white coat with my name on it, and he said, "Here," and he handed me an ID. He said, "These are the 2 things you need to gain access to the clinical floors. Now go get to work." It's different for you. And it's different for you in an important way. You have, at this point, a comma in your sentence. This is a point where you can pause, take a breath, and think about what comes next. And what comes next for you will be utterly transformative. Congratulations and welcome. And also welcome Dr. Lori Worth, University Provost.
Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Dr. Lori Worth, and I am the provost here at the university. Welcome to each of our students, and welcome to the family and friends who are watching virtually and not here today. So the white coat, it comes with privilege and honor. It comes with a great deal of responsibility. As you think about the patients you will serve under instruction and supervision, your career to get here today, think about that first day that you started school, if you can remember kindergarten. Somebody took you to school. Think about the journey throughout as it took to graduate high school. Some of you have been involved in athletics. Some of you may have been in band, choir, 4-H, community service activities, and then you decided to select your undergraduate college. For some of you, you may have been the first in your family to go to college. That was my journey. And throughout that experience, at some point, you thought of optometry as a career, a way to give back, a way to serve, continuously learn. And you finished college, and you chose a university to continue your education for optometry. Thank you for your journey. Think about the courses that you've taken, the faculty who are surrounding you today who've helped prepare you for that. We are proud of your accomplishments. We're proud of the journey, and your patients are ready to meet you. Thank you very much.
Hi, welcome to the White Coat ceremony for the class of 2022. I'm Dr. Donald Eden, I'm the Associate Dean for Academic Affairs. And what I wanted to share with you was a few thoughts with respect to a white coat. Why a white coat? What does it symbolize? History says at first it was not a white coat, it was dark coats, black coats. Why was it a black coat? Why was it a dark coat? Well, it was easier to keep clean. You couldn't see the stains or the difficulties that patients might have, which got onto the doctor's outfit or the coat in this particular case. Another thing is that why would we change it to white? Or historically, up until the 19th century, why did they not wear white? Because white signifies purity, cleanliness. One of the reasons why it was black was because of the presence of death usually with physicians or doctors of different types. It was also associated with death. So therefore, we wanted to change it, and it got changed towards the end of the 19th century to a white coat. The white coat for purity, for health. We don't know when, why, or exactly who designed the white coat, but we do know that it became a symbol for practitioners. Hospitals also switched to whiteness. They had white sheets. The nurses had white hats on their white uniforms. And doctors had their fancy new white coats, which also symbolized cleanliness. We also got into where doctors started washing their hands for fear of infection. It happened somewhere between 1875 and 1879. There were two famous paintings by Thomas Eakins. The one in 1875 was called The Gross Clinic. That was people wearing dark coats. In 1889, he then came out with another painting which was called the Agnew Clinic, and that's where the doctors were all wearing white coats. So there was this transition from dark to light, from dirty to white and pure. The first white coat ceremony took place in 1993 at the Columbia University College of Physicians and Surgeons. The white coat has come to symbolize the purity of purpose being affirmed in the process of becoming a healthcare professional. Optometric students are given a white coat as a visual reminder of their professional oath and commitment to providing high-quality healthcare. The white coat is an honor, a privilege, an earned rite of passage that represents the transitioning of professional graduate students to healthcare practice and patient care. Traditionally, a white coat ceremony, and before conferring of the white coat and recitation of the professional oath, there is an address by an eminent role model. Today, I'm honored to introduce Dr. William T. Reynolds. His biography is in your pamphlets, your brochures. You can read the extensive one. But for now, I'll just summarize some of it. His undergraduate studies were at the University of Louisville. He's a graduate of the Southern College of Optometry in Memphis. He's been a member, chair, or liaison of most organizations, specifically the KOA and the AOA, as well as the Academy, as well as ASCO, the Association for Schools and Colleges of Optometry, the Great Western Council of Optometry, the Southeast Council, the North Central Council, whatever council there is, he's been a member or at least a significant portion of its development and represented the KOA and helped to formulate what we now consider optometry in Kentucky. He's also served on the Kentucky Board of Optometric Examiners. He's received numerous awards, including the Presidential Awards from the KOA and the International President's Letter of Appreciation by Lions International. He's twice been selected as Kentucky's Optometrist of the Year. He's also an adjunct faculty member not only here at KICO, but also at SCO and UAB and IU, Indiana University. He is currently president and CEO of Eye Care Center Optometrist in Richmond, Kentucky. He's a past president of the KOA and was instrumental in the passage of Children's Vision Access and Scope legislation. He was elected to the AOA Board of Trustees in June 2012. And now that he has plenty of spare time, he's serving as the elected AOA president for the year 2021. So without further ado, it's my honor to introduce Dr. Bill Reynolds.
Thank you, Don. A bit exaggerated on a couple of those. This is exciting for me. Like Dr. Webb, this is my first white coat ceremony. They did not have these back in the dark ages when I graduated or was going through optometry school. And I know after 2 years, I know you all are hating to give up the classroom and go to the clinic, but it is a very exciting time and a milestone. So I'm happy for you. I'm anxious for you. Now, you learn how to be a doctor of optometry here, and they do a fantastic job. but I'm going to tell you a little bit about the profession that you're joining. A few fun facts, and then I want to tell you where we are, where we've been, and where I think we're going. And I will start off, there's a U.S. News and Reports ranks professions every year. And this year they ranked optometry as the 16th best profession in the United States. So that should make you feel good. It should make your family who's watching this online feel good. So you picked a very good profession. You've picked a profession that has a great future. A couple of other facts about optometry, but I bet you did not know. Home ownership in optometry. Optometrists, around 89.4% of optometrists own their own home. It is the highest percentage of ownership of any profession. Did anybody know that? You know, what that tells me is it tells me that optometrists are happy in their career. They're stable. They're part of the community. They're part of the healthcare in the community. So that's a good thing to be. The next interesting fact that I want to tell you is in a country where the divorce rate is around 50% or a little more, the divorce rate in optometry is around 5%. Staggeringly low. We are the number 2 profession with the lowest divorce rate. Number 1 is agricultural engineers or farmers, and we're number 2. We have a lower divorce rate than the clergy. Pretty amazing. Does anybody have any idea why our divorce rate is lower than the clergy's? I don't either, but it is a cool fact. The start of optometry officially started, and I'm going to give you Bill Reynolds' history of optometry. Our profession started in 1898 with Charles Prentice. Have you all heard of him? And the father of optometry. They don't teach about the father of optometry anymore. He did something that was so horrendous and outrageous, he was actually put in jail. He was arrested and put in jail for charging 5 cents for an exam. Prior to that, exams weren't of value. You could not charge for them. He charged for them. He was the first person to put value on what we do. He was so outraged, he went on, he became active. He formed the Optical Society of New York, which spread and grew and later became the American Optometric Association. Now, our profession, your profession, grew through the first half of the 20th century slowly. Was regulated very poorly. Schools were not regulated. Optometrists practiced mainly in jewelry stores. Some went door to door. Of course, medicine started in barber shops. We started in jewelry stores. But it was a small, almost regionalized profession. And something happened in the 1940s that changed our profession forever. World War II. How many of y'all had any idea the role that World War II played in your profession and your future? After World War II, there were millions of GIs, and there was something called the GI Bill. And the GI Bill paid those GIs coming home to go to school, to go to college. And at that time, a lot of the colleges, the optometry schools that are still around today, that's when they formed, was for these GIs. Now, these GIs, they were structured, they were organized, they'd been in the Army. And in their career, they started structuring education. They structured laws, they structured practice patterns. And this is when we became a real eye care profession. And you notice I said eye care or vision profession because that's what we were at this time. And we continued to grow, but we were still limited. And then in the 1960s, something else happened that changed our profession forever again. And that was the Vietnam War. How many of y'all had any idea that 2 wars shaped what you do and what you will do for the rest of your life? Before the Vietnam War, we were a drugless profession. We could not even dilate. During the Vietnam War, our optometrists that were in service, they didn't just do refractions. They treated disease. They treated injuries. They were part of the healthcare team. They came back home, they couldn't even dilate. This is the group, excuse me, this is the group that started the movement for diagnostics and therapeutics. They said, this is ridiculous. We've been trained, we're capable, we've done this. We should be able to do this. And they became active. The first state was Rhode Island, 1972. And then in 1976, West Virginia. We have anybody here from West Virginia? We got a couple. You should be very proud. 1976, West Virginia did something that was so radical. The American Optometric Association met to see if we were going to throw them out of the association. Do you know what that was? Excuse me. They started treating eye diseases. They moved our profession from a vision to a healthcare profession. Thankfully, we did not throw them out. Thankfully, other states followed suit until every state across the country, to one degree or another, treats eye diseases. And at this point, right now, 70% of all primary eye care conditions are treated by optometrists. So we continued that, and then we started another revolution. And you all were a part of this, because it started here in Kentucky. And that was in 2011, we passed a law that would allow optometrists to do laser surgeries, minor surgical procedures, injections, because that's where the future is. Since we did that in 2011, and that's actually with Governor Patton, that was actually part of the reasoning behind the optometry program here. We actually met with Governor Patton at the Derby one year and talked about the formation of the school. You all are learning things now. You're going to be doing things that the rest of the country is trying to catch up and learn. You know, since Kentucky passed their law and Oklahoma already had a law, you know, Louisiana followed, Arkansas followed, Indiana is now doing laser procedures, Alaska's doing laser procedures. In the next 5 years, there's 20 states that are looking to expand their scope of practice. This is the future, and it's your all's present, and that's very exciting. Why is this so important? It's important because if you look at the demographics of the U.S. population, what are they doing? They're getting older, right? As the population ages, there's more chronic systemic diseases with ocular manifestations. There's more chronic eye diseases. Right? And who's going to take care of these people? It's not ophthalmology. Average age of an ophthalmologist in the United States right now is 58. If you look at me, this is about what an average ophthalmologist look like. Where do you think I'm going to be in 10 years? Who's going to take care of these people? It's going to be you. Right? It's a great opportunity. As I said, U.S. News and World Report has it right. Our future is very, very bright, but it's not the future of optometry in the 1940s or 60s or 80s. Or even early 2000s. This is where our future is. There's going to be a couple of things that I'm going to ask of you all. And the first thing is, your all's education, you're able to see and do things that other schools are not. Take advantage of this education. There's been generations of optometrists, and one of them is on your name of your clinic down here, Gerald Combs, that has worked very, very hard for you all to get these privileges. Take advantage of them. Use them. The second thing that I'm going to ask you is be involved. Be involved in AOSA now. When you graduate, be involved in your state association, wherever that is. Be involved in the AOA. Be involved in your community. Right? Being involved moves your profession forward. It moves you forward personally. And most important, it moves the care of your patients forward. And that's the most important thing. Thank you all very much for having me here. I wish you nothing but the best. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Reynolds, for your kind words and your history of optometry. You guys should be proud that we have such an eminent member of our profession here to address you guys today. Can I have the first row stand? Can I call out your names, and you'll proceed on to meet up with Dr. Cottle. Sophia Brown. Hannah Busrow. Kevin Campbell. Mary Clark. Chelsea Curry. Anna Dixon. Trinity Doan. Danielle Eddings. Cohen Ellswick. Clayton Frost. Dominique Falk. Taylor Hart. Heather Handerlight. Kristen Jolly, Laura Keith, Philip Kelly, John Kephart, Joseph Coberline, Ashley Q, Courtney Lancaster, Dixon Maggard, Hannah Marion, Brittany Martin, Melissa Metz, Michael Millian, Audrey Moore, Crystal Onyeater, Justin Reed, Alyssa Richard, Taylor Runyon, Isaiah safe? Michelle safe? Clara Schroyer? Stephanie Solomon? Caleb Stanley? Zachary Stevenson? Daniel Sturgill? Rebecca Thigpen? Douglas Thompson? Emily Wallace? Taylor Yurdy? And Josie Ruth Cohen Ziegler.
Milk, bread, cheese. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, yes. Okay. Congratulations, 2022. It's our tradition. Would you please stand, raise your right hand? We would like to administer the professional conduct pledge. So please repeat after me. With full deliberation, I freely and solemnly pledge that I, state your name, maybe we can run the tape back and start that one more time. I will ensure that all persons have access to eye, vision, and general health care in an environment of faith, social justice, and human dignity. Much better. I will provide care that is consistent with established clinical practice guidelines based on the latest scientific knowledge and procedures. I will remain current with the prevailing scope of practice and standards of care to benefit my patients. I will respect the rights of my patients to be active participants in decisions affecting their health care. I will inform patients or their legal guardian about the patient's health care and health care options. I will hold in confidence all protected health and other personal information. I will conduct myself with good character in all my actions to build trust and respect with patients, the public, and colleagues. Congratulations to the class of 2022. I would like to welcome you as future colleagues to our profession. At this time, this concludes our program. Please join us for a quick reception right here on the 7th floor. Congratulations.